Excuse the background noise, but I'm gonna show you how to use your algae dryer. In a simple way that works is that when your wash is done, you unload the washing machine and transfer the clothes into the dryer. And then you put dryer sheets in. As you can see, I only need one since it's a small load. And the safety switch is always there for you in case you accidentally pop the door open while the dryer is still going. Turn the dial knob. Either heavy duty, normal, or delicates. But now there are two ways to speed dry the cycle. One, speed dry. And of course the temperature is optional. Temperature can be customized to low, medium, and high. And yes, you can definitely adjust the time. But just so you know, 10 minutes is the minimum time it will dry. And just so you know, this cool down cycle happens during the last 5 minutes. So there's no need to worry about it because the cool down cycle is engaged during the last 5 minutes. And the number two way to speed dry is time dry. Short is 10 minutes, and if you want to shorten the time, you can simply press less time. And of course, it would do the same as speed dry. And yes, 10 minutes is the minimum time it will dry. And you see the signal right here under the dry level. All you have to do is hold the dry level button for 3 seconds and it will disable the chimes for the LG drying machine. There you go. Any button you see signal or sound or something like that, you hold that button to disable and enable chimes. And of course the Wrinkle Care is optional, but never for bedding. Let's see which other setting won't let me do the Wrinkle Care. Okay, so that means only beddings you cannot do Wrinkle Care on, as you can see. I'll turn chime back on so that I know when the dryer is done, and I won't need Wrinkle Care since this is the last load. Oh, and let me just disable chime for that one. Now let's see how many settings will let me do energy saver. And that means only normal will let me toggle the energy saver. And you can set the default setting of the energy saver to on or off by simply holding energy saver for 3 seconds. There you go, it says on since it was already off. Let's toggle it back off. As you can see, now for the control lock, you have to hold Wrinkle Care for 3 seconds to turn on control lock. And of course, if you're reaching over, you definitely need the control lock so you don't accidentally spam all the buttons or anything. And remember that once control lock is on, you cannot change the settings or anything. So don't even think about throwing away your dryer after you watch this. That's how you disable the control lock. The way I did that was hold Wrinkle Care for 30 seconds, since it had control lock. And while the control lock is engaged, you cannot start any cycles or anything. But you can control the power button. Now, for those of you who are struggling to dry your clothes in at a certain amount of time for this issue, or should I say, for those of you who have issues starting your dryer or something like that, if your dryer has locked you out of the system, that means your control lock is on. To disable it, hold Wrinkle Care for 3 seconds. And of course I'll try to toggle the damp dry signal. Wow, damp dry signal. I did not know it had damp dry signal. So the damp dry signal is optional, in case you were wondering. Oh, you can even do no chimes, but with the damp dry signal. Or you can do it without the damp dry signal, but with the chimes. Or you can do both at the same time. I might not be familiar with the damp dry signal, so I may not need it until I figure out how it actually works or something like that. Without the energy saver, the default time is 41 minutes for normal. With energy saver, 57 minutes. I might not need energy saver, so. And the default temperature is medium. The default dry level is normal. And there are 2 settings for normal dry: speed dry and air dry. I meant manual dry, speed dry, and air dry, in case I mispronounced that one. And of course, you can adjust the time for both of these settings. But never for any other setting. Unless it's times dry, speed dry, and air dry, you can't adjust the time manually. It stays as it is unless you're changing the dry level. If it's the energy saver you want for normal, it'll be 57 minutes. Oh, and one more thing. In case you're wondering what that silver tube is, That is the exhaust duct, where heat will be exhausted outdoors. Not sure what kind of tonnage this is. But the model is DLE3400W. It's even got smart diagnostics, sensor dry. Oh, and another thing, if you see that your dryer is stuck at the last minute, that means it is still trying to cool down, which means it is still trying to exhaust any remaining heat outdoors before it can begin to chime or something like that. And that's about it for my DLE3400W tour.